And welcome back to yet another late night love where we dim the lights, pour a cup of something soothing, and dive into the raw, real stories that keep us up at night. Tonight, we are unpacking the tangled threads of love, of life, love, and relationships. From the quiet betrayals that shatter trust to the everyday battles of parenting and partnerships, whether you're wrestling with a spouse's jealousy, a looming breakup, or the chaos of raising fearless kids. Remember, you're not alone in this. These stories remind us that growth often comes from the messiest moments. Let's lean in together with a little wry wisdom and a lot of heart. If you've got your own tale to share, hit up latenighlove.us. We're all in this human experience together. And isn't that true? There's been a human experience recently around here, hasn't
Yeah.
it? So do us all the favor, hit the like, subscribe, share, good, all that good fun stuff. And I have nothing for the pre-opening segment. So unless you got something for the to chat about this week, Lovey.
Well, I think we all need a little more love in the world right now. We need to we need to combat the darkness. And the only way to do that is with light.
Yep. As I always tell people, if you want to make the world a better place, you start with your own house and you work outwards from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it all starts in everybody wants to change the world. Well, make the world around you a better place. And guess what? If everybody does that through 6 degrees of separation, next thing you know, you have changed something halfway around the world and don't even know it.
Yeah.
So the answer is overly simplistic, but it's, historically accurate. So focus on you, focus on your families, focus on those immediately around you, make life better for them, and the world will become a better place. That's how that happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get depressed now and overwhelmed with what's going on in the world. And along those same veins, I bring my attention down to my home and my neighborhood. I look for joys. I look for the positive in my life. And because of my faith, I say a little prayer of gratitude. But just having an attitude of gratitude shifts so much.
Yeah. And it's okay to turn off the news cycle.
The news. Yeah.
I didn't say the news. I said turn off the news cycle.
Oh.
You can still check in on the news. Spend your hour a day on it and then drop it and leave it alone. You don't have to go back to the same. It's all the same thing. So check in once a day for an hour or whatever it is to make sure you know what's going on in the world, but you don't have to live in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was obsessing on Facebook, and
yeah, you don't have to live in it,
and it did no good. I mean, nothing was accomplished except for me being upset. In so one of the things I do, I limit myself to just like 1 or 2 a day, very briefly.
Yeah.
Just a minute or two, not sitting there for 20 minutes just doom scrolling.
No, you have your what your time limit, your strategy, whatever it is to limit it, and then go enjoy the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Part of the problem is we used to only get this stuff once a day. You got the newspaper, you read the newspaper once a day, maybe, and that was the news.
That was it.
That was it. And now we see, a lot more news, a lot faster. And so
constant, it's constant.
And oftentimes it's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And it feels like, but the way they present it feels like something new and new and new. It's a continuous let. And so it's okay to turn that off. Yeah. It's okay to turn that. I went back to reading news rather than watching it.
Yeah.
For me, it's easier to remove whichever bias the person has because if they're human, of course they're going to have one, but it's easier to remove from paper or from reading than it is to listening. You get the emotional ability to transfer emotion through voice. You can manipulate that through voice and images, and you can make things seem more or less than they are. So, and for me, I'm faster reading it anyway. 10-minute news story I can read in a minute and a half. So, right, why do I want to spend 10 minutes on it? So, there is that part. But yeah, so be careful what you bring into your life. You know, you don't have to tune out completely, but it's okay to
And
limit.
it doesn't mean you don't care. It doesn't mean you're not being diligent.
And you know, remember, people feel as strongly the other way as you do. So give some grace if you want some grace. Is you know, that's what we've kind of lost, the ability to have a rational political conversation, right? And if you got to give some to get some. We, we, it took many of us to get here. It took us to, to get where we are today. It took us as a country, as a group. It's going to take us as a country, as a group, to get ourselves out of this.
Yeah, yeah.
And the only way to do that is to stop yelling at each other and start listening to each other, even if you disagree with it, because someone who feels heard is easier to negotiate with than someone who doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So the more people who feel heard, the easier it is to move forward. And until we all feel heard, we're not going to move forward. So, but part of that is being willing to listen to things that make you uncomfortable. And
yeah.
So, all right, let's.
Yeah. Well, I think we have a fundamental divide, and we would, and if we were to discuss this any further, we'd be delving off into politics, and we don't do that here. We address emotions and
I don't. Well,
behaviors.
Politically speaking, I think the divide is more path rather than where we usually end up one side or the other. So that's. But as someone who sits outside that.
Yeah, but how do you deal with someone who sits there and says, "Well, that we want a white America"? How do you deal with that?
The same way you dealt with it always. It's the most successful person who has dealt with this. The guy who there's this black guy, Dale Davis. He's gone around and he listened to people who, not just Ku Klux Klan's members, he's talking high leaders, and they would eventually give him their robe as they stepped away, just by simply listening to them. Now, it's not everybody's journey, right? But the point is, that's how you change the world. You don't change the world by screaming and yelling. That's never worked in the history of the planet. You don't stop fighting by fighting. That's not how that works. Well, it can, but it leaves a death trail of millions upon millions upon millions of people and misery for decades. I mean, if you want to go down that road, sure. Just saying. Pay attention. You know, we often learn the wrong lessons from history. So anyway, all right. That's enough of that.
We are living in interesting times. That's how I'll end it.
That's it is the old Chinese curse is coming true. But
I thought it was Russian.
It's Russian, Chinese. Who knows where it comes from?
Communist.
It's one of those things.
Actually, I think that comes out of the days of the czars.
Everybody, cultural appropriation happens since the beginning of time. It's, so one saying from one place can end up being the same saying from another. And where did it actually come from? Who knows?
Who knows?
Because, it's possible that two people can come up with the same concept at the same time in different places.
Well, if you look at history, that has happened more than once.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
It's, the concept is pretty solid. So it's Anyway, all right. We are moving on into an actual segment because we'll get out of that. All right. Let's kick off life tonight with the stuff that hits us on a daily grind, from husbands flipping out over gym time to overwhelming toy purges and tantrum-filled kindergartners. These stories capture the exhaustion and quiet triumphs of just getting through. We'll explore the boundaries at work matter. That's a weird sentence. How to budget for those teen years, and what to do when your 4-year-old fears absolutely nothing, as they should. So let's pull up a chair and get this, as this is where life gets real. Oh, man, I should not read these things, but It is what it is. So what are we starting with tonight, Lovey?
No, this poor lady. So she's been married 10 years,
Uh-huh.
and she had depression,
Mm-hmm.
and she's come out of it. She found a med that worked.
Cool.
So she is exploring herself again.
Uh-huh.
And one of the things she's challenging herself. She's taking on challenges. And one of it is she gained a lot of weight. So she got herself in shape. She's going to the gym. She's already starting to lose weight. She got a cute little new haircut, and she is starting to assert herself in the relationship in asking him to do his portion of the housework. You know, she she's starting to pay more attention to their home life, right? He is reacting badly to all of this. He accuses her of, having a gym husband, you know,
Uh-huh.
of why are you dressed like that? He's very insecure. She doesn't know what to do. How does she deal with this?
Okay, well, part of this is that I have to do this carefully because I'm not going to defend him because he's also being immature at the same time. So there's no defense in sense for his actions, but we can explain it. How's that? Okay.
You can explain it.
We're not going to defend it, but we can explain it. There's a couple of things going on. One, she has changed the parameters of the relationship essentially without consultation. Right. She's not saying there's anything wrong with it, right? Getting herself better and improving, all 100% good. But from his perspective, life has changed and he didn't have a decision or a say in the journey. And any human being will resist that, right?
Yeah.
From their perspective, life was okay.
Yeah.
Maybe not great, but okay. And for many men, okay is fine. You don't change what's fine. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, from his perspective, he didn't know how broken she was.
Yeah.
He didn't. We can be oblivious to these things, right? Despite it being painfully obvious. Didn't realize some people can't relate because they have nothing to relate it to.
Okay.
And so again, from his perspective, now everything's changed. Now he realizes he's stuck in life. He is the same person he is now that he was 7 years ago. Hasn't moved. His wife, not only is she out changed the parameters of the relationship, come off making her a better human being than he is, and now she's demanding more of him. So from his perspective, his whole life has just been completely flipped upside down through essentially no fault of his own, even though it is his fault because he's done nothing, right? His actual fault is not what he did, it's what he hasn't done.
Yeah.
He hasn't grown as a human being.
Yeah.
That's his fault. But from a sedentary human being's perspective, he's done nothing. I'm just existing. I'm just sitting here. And my life has been flipped upside down. And everybody would react poorly to that. Now, maturity says, okay, you look in the mirror. What role did I play in this? Oh, I'm a slob. That's my role. I've played in this. I've let myself go. I'm not mad at her. I'm mad at me. I need to make some changes because that's really what's going on. How does she deal with it? She doesn't have to.
Y'all are complicated.
That's a human thing. Women do it too. That's just a human thing. It's got neither man nor woman nor anything in between. That's just human. You're overly comfortable. You haven't changed because you haven't needed to. Your spouse, your long-term partner, who was seemingly comfortable on this journey with you, has decided it's no longer good enough for them, and they've often changed their life and gone off on a new adventure and hasn't taken you with them, likely because you're not willing to get up and go. But regardless, you know, I didn't have to. I was, you know, parameters of life has changed.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's what the response is. It's very sad, actually.
it is.
But
But I mean, they've been together 10 years. I think he's just having a knee jerk reaction,
yeah,
and it's going to take him some time and just her settling into a new routine, that he can get comfortable with again.
well, it's going to take him some growing up. He's going to have to face whatever demon he is facing,
Mm,
whatever has made his life sedentary, his refusal to change as a human being. He's going to have to face that. But you know what? He's 38. He needs to.
yeah. Now's the time.
Yeah. So,
And then you turn 40 and then you go, now I really got my shit
yeah.
together.
And these are the times where, if your spouse can't go with you on your new journey, those are the times when relationship ends. Let's hope he can get himself together and join her on journey together, because at this stage you either grow together or you grow apart. There is no other. Yeah. So little compassion on her part for the fact that his life has been flipped upside down too.
And this exact same thing happened to me, except I didn't go to the gym, but I had my own exercise program. I came out of a depression. I didn't cut my hair though, but I had the loving support of my family every step of the way.
Yeah. And
Your family too, your mom.
yeah, it's just everything kind of, his world flipped upside down. And anytime anybody's
Mhm.
world flips upside down, they have a poor reaction to that, right? It's human.
Uh-huh.
So not excusing it, because he needs to not be so sedentary in his ways. If life, but I could make some guesses, but yeah, he's mad at himself, not her,
Okay.
and he's afraid of losing her, which is its own beast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's got a couple irons in the fire, doesn't he?
yeah, and if he doesn't change, if he doesn't start to grow as a human being, he's gonna lose everything he's afraid of losing. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah, so hopefully he can pull himself together, but it's all on him. It's like, in a sense, it's like an alcoholic. He can't be helped until he's ready to help himself. So I wish her luck. She can be there with him if he's willing to go through the ride.
Well, it sounded like it. I mean, she's in for the long haul.
Well, then, yeah. So she can, now she understands where it's coming from. She can at least have some empathy for it, and maybe figure out a way to reach him. Hey, I understand you're scared. I understand you feel like your life is flipped upside down. Put some words to the emotion he's feeling. He probably can't put to right now. He's probably overwhelmed. So put those words, help him a little bit. And if you're a little wrong, and he corrects you, listen to him. Don't tell him he's wrong for feeling that way. Acknowledge that he's feeling that way.
Yeah.
It's, people can let people work through feelings. That's you can't always control what you're feeling, but you can control how you ultimately work through them. So don't tell him he's wrong for feeling something. Yeah. Okay.
Coworker, boss's daughter, questioning my work arrangement. Worth addressing or ignore? She asked him. He made an arrangement with the owner.
Yeah.
He is the owner of the company. Okay. It's, small family business. To leave at 3:00.
Yeah.
And the boss's daughter is like, when do you leave? And he's like, 3 every day. It's an arrangement I made with your dad. Yeah, but do you come back? No. Every day? It's an arrangement I made with your dad. And she just doesn't seem to get it.
Say it's written into my contract, because it probably is. She doesn't get that he does his day's worth of work in 2/3 of the time, his dad appreciates her dad appreciates that and says, "Yeah, you've done your stuff. Get out of here." Or maybe he shows up early. He's the first one there, or he works off time, and she doesn't realize the rest of his
duties.
duties or
Their
whatever.
remote work.
Yeah, whatever it is. He clearly is worth having a flexible work arrangement.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
she's not.
Yeah. Well,
she's the boss's daughter. She doesn't get any free rides.
have you never met boss's daughters before? They get free rides all the time. What are you talking about? But she is probably trying to find her footing, trying to, look for things that people may be taking advantage of or whatever, just because, daughter's nature. You want to come in, you want to poke around and look under the rugs and see so in a sense, it's understandable, but
I'd tell her, go talk to your dad.
yeah. Or you could go talk to her dad. Could you tell your daughter to back off? This is annoying. You could do that. Since clearly you have a good relationship with him. Just tell her to stop asking. It's annoying.
He may have no idea she's poking around underneath the covers. Yeah.
She just maybe trying to see how far she can get away with.
Oh, God.
And she may not even be consciously thinking about it, right? It just could be a instinctive thing. She's daddy's little girl, and so she's taking care of daddy. She thinks she's protecting daddy because, of course, she is. So, anyway.
I wouldn't. I've never been in that situation.
Well, I've seen it. So,
okay. Okay, this next one. This man was hired for a remote job.
Okay.
Now the company is saying, "Oh, we're switching it to in office."
Yeah.
And he wants to know if he has to accept the position. He doesn't think this is legal.
Well, it depends upon the details of your contract specifically. You sign an employment contract. Almost everybody does. That tells you at least some parameters. And yours either tells you you're a remote worker or you're an office worker or whatever. But most states, you're an at-will employee. They can let you go for any reason. If they want that job to be in-house, no longer remote, they have every right to make that job an in-house and not remote job for whatever reason. And you can go with it, or you can go find a different job. That's how we deal with these things in the United States. But again, it depends on the specific details of his contract. If his contract is detailed and says he is a remote worker, they probably have to live out the contract agreement. But the reality is most of those contracts have clauses that these details can change. And if those details change, you either change with the job or you don't. They're not going to lock themselves into you being remote work forever when the details of that job might change. Maybe that job is no longer needed. So,
okay.
But, there's a lot of tech world layoffs, right?
Yeah.
And they found out that all those extra remote workers weren't very productive.
Oh.
So that's why they're bringing them back to the office.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very productive when they self-report. But but in mass, and some are highly productive people who work at home, right? But a lot of people will put in mouse jigglers and stuff so they can pretend to work while they're at home.
Mouse jigglers.
Oh, there's all kinds of goofy things you can do to make it look like you're working when you're not.
No way.
Yeah. And it becomes a point is even if it's more productive, it's not worth the hassle of having to set up all this monitoring system. Forget it. Just have them come into the office.
Okay.
Which means they have to pay for the office, pay for the electricity, all that stuff. which tells you how, you know, unproductive remote work really is.
Yeah.
If they'd
Okay.
rather pay for the office and the extra insurance for which is the real cost of having people come into the office, the extra insurance. So liability insurance and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they don't do it for no reason. I know they just want control. Yeah, they do. They're paying you money. They want some control over your productivity. Yes, yes, they do. Imagine that. Surprise, surprise. What planet have you people been living on? Okay, what is next?
Has anyone received an HR email about languages? English only. She was speaking Spanish
Uh-huh.
to a number of her employees, a number of her customers, because it was just easier for both of them. You know, they could understand each other quicker. It was just expedited things,
Yeah.
you know. And now her company doesn't want her to do that.
Well, if it's customers, which is strange, you'd think you'd want your employees to talk to your customers in the language that would be a marketable skill. But in certain circumstances, it can make certain people feel uncomfortable because it can feel like especially if someone's included in a conversation. We talked about this not too long ago, right? If you're having a three-way conversation and all of a sudden two people start talking in a different language, what's that third person is gonna feel weird.
Yeah.
At the very least. So, you know, I have a suspicion there's more to this one than we know on both sides. It's just a one-time thing where you're talking to a customer. Doesn't seem like something that any rational company would send a memo out about.
I know.
So my guess is there's like Paul Harvey here. There's the rest of a story here somewhere.
Okay.
Don't know how it's going to turn out, right? Don't know what the rest of the story is. Have no
Okay.
clue. It
Okay.
could. But seems to me to be, or it's just bad timing, right? It's actually not about her. It's about something else. But she had just happened to been talking to customers in Spanish. And so now she thinks this memo, who was really about some argument people had in the break room 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And for her, she feels like it's her
Uh-huh.
when it's really not.
Yeah.
That is entirely possible as well.
It is.
So don't rule that out.
Yeah.
Bad timing happens all the time. You get a memo and wait, I was just talking to a customer. Yeah, but it's not referring to customers, right? It's referring to employee conversations in like the break room or when covering company business or that type of thing, right? Because two people had an argument or misunderstanding 3 weeks ago. I'll screw with it rather than having to deal with misunderstandings. You just say, oh, the heck with it, we're going to make a blanket policy. Some sort of flirt person is just helping a customer. Now all of a sudden going, wait, I can't talk to my customer in Spanish. No, of course you can talk to your customer in Spanish. You're not talking about you, we're talking about this. But that happens. So it may not even be about her. There's the other option there.
Yeah.
Which again would be the rest of the story. There's something
else here.
There's something else there, I suspect.
All right.
Okay. But you can go ask, right? Go ask. Just simply ask. Go to the HR person and ask.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I feel like my husband is rewriting our agreements and acting shocked when I push back. Okay. Mainly it's about the cooking.
Okay.
They're supposed to do every other night.
Uh-huh.
And it comes to be his night and he's like, I don't really feel like cooking. You do it so much better than I do.
And she probably does too.
Yeah, but that's not the point. Get better, buddy.
Well, okay, maybe it's time to renegotiate the overall thing. Maybe he just needs to start ordering out more, or there's many ways to provide dinner. You don't necessarily have to cook.
Yeah, what about the easy stuff? Just throw it like a lasagna. You throw it in the oven and wait for it to bake. I mean, come on.
Or those box companies that send you box meals and you just essentially like boil them or whatever to heat them up
Uh-huh.
again. There's all kinds of options you can do.
To help him help him figure. I mean, didn't you have someone help navigate the world of cooking? Well, now you got to do that for your husband. You got to show him how to do it because apparently he wasn't taught.
Well, it's just he may not care about food all that much. Right? And you're going to end up with steak and
She doesn't care.
and potatoes a lot.
She made that clear.
All right.
She eats whatever he makes, and she doesn't complain.
All right. It seems to me like there's some they need some renegotiation of probably the whole way the thing works. Not everybody's made to cook all the time.
Yeah, she isn't either.
All right. Well, then now you can renegotiate and say, all right, neither one of us particularly likes to cook. We don't care all that much about how they cook. Let's have those people ordered book boxes where they send us a box of meals for every week. And we can just eat whatever the freaking company sends us. And we don't have to care.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of those box meal companies. They're relatively inexpensive. They're not much more than you cost your grocery shopping. And you don't have to think about it. So that would be my solution.
Okay.
So now neither one of you have to care. You just have to heat up the meal that someone else made for you. Nutritious and balanced and all that stuff. Well, it tastes great. No, but it probably tastes better than the crap he's going to cook. So, so you win-win.
Get you some herbs that you can add yourself.
Well, she probably doesn't care that much either, which is actually the benefit. All right, fine. Neither one of us care. Let's get the box delivery stuff, and we don't have to think about food. It comes in a box once a week. And we pull out whatever's scheduled for Tuesday. We eat whatever's scheduled for Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Just be done with it. Just end the argument. Fine. We'll just find a third we'll find a third way.
And then the kids are going to come along and then the whole process starts over again.
They're in their 30s. They may not be having kids coming along.
I think they're coming soon.
They can't even get cooking down. So
yeah,
let's try to get them fed first.
Babies happen.
Yeah, but let's try to get them fed first before they have to feed others.
Well, yeah, but kind of they come with their own manna.
Well, maybe, but they still need to feed themselves. Let's get them fed before we even think about adding more. Okay.
Okay. New owners asked me to take personal time off during my 2 weeks to start early. Okay. She got a new job.
Uh-huh.
She said, I have to give 2 weeks notice.
Okay.
They said, okay, but could you take personal time off for those 2 weeks and come to work for us? She doesn't want to do that. She wants to finish her 2 weeks off, and her company expects it.
Well, most companies would prefer you to leave because short-timers disease. But
but she wants to leave on good terms.
Sweet. But this may be a sign that your new job is more high pressure than you thought. It might be a warning sign, frankly. I mean, they may just be desperate and need you there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it could be a warning sign.
Mm-hmm.
So. Just saying.
That's good. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, it could very well be a warning sign of culture problems. It's so. Think about that, but it's not too late to change your mind, I suppose. But
no.
Okay, what's next?
Okay, last one for our life section. Okay, there is a shameless, gossiping coworker, and he is sucking the life out of everyone around him.
Stop participating. That's all you have to do. Just stop listening. That's it. Let him talk. You don't have to hear.
Eh. Apparently, you're much better at that than some other people.
But then it's a self-feeding thing because they don't get the reward, so
Yeah.
they go away.
Okay.
So the minute you can stop paying attention to it is the minute it stops. At least for you. Then it becomes other people's problems. But of course, the question is, why isn't it a cultural problem? Right? Ooh, excuse me. Why isn't it a cultural problem within the company? Why isn't somebody else, management, the team leader, whatever it is, do something about it? That might be a better question.
Mm.
Whose job is it to actually do something about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But someone's not doing their job. That's my answer. Find out who's not doing their job and ask them to do their job. I guess, or just ignore it and let it die for you.
I've known people like this, and I would give them a couple of minutes a day,
Uh-huh.
and that's it. And they seem to do okay once they figured out the routine.
I never give them the time of day. I don't have time for this. I got things to do.
I worked in an office with women.
Yeah, well, I didn't.
You can't snub them like that.
No, you can. You very well can.
Yeah, but yeah.
Then you just become the topic of the gossip. What do you care? You're not listening to it anyway.
That's not how it works socially with women.
I'm not a woman, thank God. Thankfully. Clearly. All right. So these life stories always leave me reflecting on how resilient we all are, whether it's decluttering toys or navigating Danny. Where the heck did they get this one? It's small wins that keep us going. Stick around as we shift into love, where the hearts get a little more tangled. What the heck did I come up with that? And invented something on that. I think maybe it picked up last week's questions or something. All right.
Are we playing our outro?
Oh, we should. Oh, well. No, I'll add it in post.
Okay. Well, I guess we're taking a little break, folks. He walked out of the office without saying why. Oh, okay. We're blowing our nose. I think they can hear you. And in case anyone wants to know, this is O'Doul's that I drink on the show. I got 37 years without alcohol coming up July 5th. Hello. Could you hold the chair, babe? Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. I am ready to go.
If I pasted last week's in there, make sure I didn't do the same thing. Oh, I butchered the.
You flipped them.
Yep,
Okay.
that's what happened. I screwed that up. Now we see what has happened. I messed it up when I pasted it in.
This one is for the relationship section. That is for our life section.
Oh wow! So
You flipped them all around.
they are all butchered. How did that happen?
I don't know.
All right. So how am I gonna fix this
So you read this.
again? All right. Well, that means I need a read of.
You need to read this.
No, we need life.
No, we need. You need a reading of this. Yeah, that it'd be good to do it right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And welcome back to Late Night Love. Tonight, the glue, or sometimes a friction between us and our closest people. We're tackling husbands rewriting cooking deals, wives looping in on serious chats, and the legality of remote jobs turned office bound. Plus, galloping coworkers, hand-me-down etiquette. Oh, wow, this is all just butchered, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Never mind. Danny Bonds, anyway.
AI did not do a good job.
Well, no, who didn't do it? I can't blame AI when I clearly didn't QA it very well. When I didn't, it read fine, right?
Sure,
but
but you don't read the questions.
but I didn't read the questions, so I didn't know which ones were mated with, and so it read perfectly fine. Now, now when we put them into the question, hey, they're all jumbled. The AI jumbled everything together and it created its own order, which might be an interesting thing. Get the AI to set, we slap in the questions and have AI order the show completely. But that's not what happened. Anyway, we all butchered that. So we're just gonna do a cold open.
Okay.
So we're on our life love segments.
So here we go. We're gonna start
Parenting. All right. And welcome back to Late Night Love, where me and Lubby tonight are discussing parenting and other life issues, like, screwing up your script before you start the show. Completely butchering it beyond recognition. How do you deal with that? We're swinging it. We're playing it by ear tonight. We're just because, of course, we are. Why are we not? Sorry, Lubby. We've talking about kids and raising children and all of that. So let's just dive right in before I embarrass myself even more.
Okay. This parent, I donated 70% of our toys last night. I can finally breathe. Okay, there was just a landslide at Christmas. This is what happens. This child is like 4 years old.
Yep.
Like 4 cents of grandparents, right?
Yep.
So it was just too much.
Yeah.
Now, when my children were small, we were faced with the same issue, and after Christmas, we would go through all their toys, and the old toys would get tossed out, donated to Goodwill, and some kid can play with them who doesn't have any toys, yeah.
Yeah, it's perfectly natural, right? And especially since most of those toys that they're not going to use anymore anyway, they've outgrown them.
Yeah.
So unless you're planning on having more kids, and there's probably only really a handful of toys that are worth keeping, essentially, and for the next children, if you have planned to have them. Mm-hmm. Most of the toys are disposable these days anyway. Yeah. So dispose of them. Pass them on to somebody who needs them, donate them, whatever it is. Yeah. It's perfectly reasonable. It's what is she? I'm curious. What is she just looking for? Making sure she feels like she did the right thing. What is she looking for?
Yeah.
It's perfectly reasonable.
Is she depriving her child?
No. No, and lots of people have rules. Once you get to a certain point, it's one in, one out, right?
Yeah.
So it never grows or something about that nature, so you don't clutter. So it's, teaching your child to let go of things and move on is not a bad thing.
Hmm.
And what do you say? He was 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 3 weeks he's not going to care anyway, so it doesn't matter. So even if you accidentally threw out something he really cares about, in 3 weeks he won't care anymore. So it's okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, here's another 4-year-old.
Okay.
He fears nothing. And I'm out of parenting, punishment, consequences, ideas. What to do?
Keep him busy. So sports, gymnast, whatever to keep him busy. He just needs something to do. He's got boundless amounts of energy, and and you can't harness that. All you can do is, direct it somewhere. And so sports fields are that's where you generally stick those kids, right? They got boundless amounts of energy, so you stick them someplace where that energy is useful. And
Gymnastics.
at 4,
Yeah.
gymnastics is probably a good one. They're a little young for much else, but and considering gymnastics is a safe place to express that fearlessness, right?
Yeah.
Let him learn to do flips and whatnot, and then he can learn to fall properly. So when he climbs those trees, he falls properly and doesn't break something. Because he's still going to climb those trees.
He's still gonna.
Yeah, and here's the thing: you don't want to squash that.
No.
So the thing is, as he grows older, it's you want to teach him to harness it, but you don't want to squash that.
This is where CEOs come from.
Yeah, people who are afraid to take risks are rare. Most of us get that trained out of us. That's what schooling really is. Trains that risk taking out of you. So you've got to don't squash his nature. Teach him to harness it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's 4. Start with gymnastics. Sounds like a good place to start. All right.
Okay. Wife constantly loops during more serious conversations. I can't seem to get her out of it without being stern. Any advice?
Shorten your serious conversations.
You're going too far.
Yeah. Just shorten them.
Obviously, because she's feeling distress. That's a sign. Looping, that's a sign of distress.
But you also have to figure out, okay, why she ends up looping and is she taking care of that? But the immediate thing is, okay, she can only take so much of a serious conversation at a time.
How about when she starts looping, you stop?
Yeah, sometimes you have to be the one to take it for the team, right? And so you're going to have to be okay, this conversation is no longer getting anywhere. It's no longer going to get anywhere. So the only way to progress forwards is to stop for now. We'll come back tomorrow. Or the day after tomorrow, or this afternoon, or whatever. However much time she needs to reset.
And here's another thing. She may be looping because you aren't listening to her. You're not hearing her. So she's repeating herself. And you being stern, you're just being a bully.
Well, she may not be, there's all kinds of reasons. She may not be accepting reality.
Yeah, well, your reality.
Well, but reality may be the reality of bank account reality, right?
Well, all right.
There's reality and then there's reality. And so we don't know what the conversation is, and it almost doesn't matter, right? Hey, he's got to be prepared to take one for the team when these kind of things happen, right? You got to understand that you end the conversation, you don't try to continue it.
Yeah.
That's because it's not going to be productive anyway. So you end it. It's okay because it's a long-term relationship. It's okay to to continue the conversation tomorrow.
Mhm.
A day doesn't matter.
And that's normal.
Yeah. So shorten the conversations would be my thing. Shorten them and stick to one subject at a time. And if it starts going off rails, it's nope, we're done. We're going to come back tomorrow. One subject at a time. Oftentimes conversations, right? They go off on tangents
Yeah.
and you end up talking about 4 or 5 different things. Nope, stop. Stop. We're talking about this thing. So unless we can talk about this thing, we're going to take a break and we're going to come back later and talk about that thing, not these other 4 things. We'll talk about these other 4 things later down the road next week. But first, we got to talk about this one thing we're dealing with. Because one of the things of looping is it's a sign of being overwhelmed, right?
Yeah.
You can't focus on whatever it is you can focus on because there's too many things going on.
Yeah.
And so you simplify. Get it down to one and you shorten it. So it's not a long-term engagement.
There you go.
It's a 15-minute, 20-minute conversation rather than how long is this going to take? It's unknown. No, we know we're only going to talk for 15, 20 minutes. That's it. So it's the limited thing. We're only talking on one thing. So on one subject. So it's a limited thing and people can focus on that. But so yeah. My suggestion.
I think it's good advice.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, these sweet people. Cost of kids and teens compared to toddlers. They're trying to do some future budgeting.
well,
I knew you'd like that.
Well, it's one of those things. It depends on you. You are the determiner of how much it costs to raise children. So,
And, how active are they going to be? What are their interests going to be? You have no flipping idea.
no, but it's still they're the one who controls the purse strings.
Are they going to be book readers or do they want to go to space camp? I mean, come on. I don't know.
Well, let's see. Teenagers cost a lot in food, but they oddly enough cost less in clothes because they're not burning through them so often.
Every 6 months.
If that, So you can buy teenagers clothes twice a year, right? I mean, unless you got a boy with a growth spurt, then you just got to go where you buy everything. But they usually like over the summer or something, so it only happens once. I don't know. I always kind of figured, all things considered, when you considered your time, if you factored in the time it took to raise toddlers versus the time and attention it takes to raise teenagers, it probably balances out.
Yeah.
Because toddlers are much more labor intensive than teenagers are. Teenagers are the amount of labor is shorter. It's more intense, but
they're a little more self-sufficient.
Yeah, they can literally feed themselves.
Yeah.
There's hot pockets in the freezer.
Mac and cheese. Yeah.
Mac and cheese. They can take
microwave. Yeah.
Yeah, they can walk to places. You don't have to drive them. They got friends who can take them there. The bicycles. All the things toddlers can't do. So, but this is a decision you have to make, right? It's how much are they going to cost you? How much are you willing to sacrifice? Are you going to buy them brand new Xboxes or whatever it is at the time? Or are they going to get, 2 years ago's model, the used one from the game store? What kind of life do you predict? 'Cause those are the things. Because food is going to be what food is going to be, right? It just is. So you don't worry about that.
Yeah.
The electricity is going to be what the electricity is going to be. Even though I heard this comedian say, "Yeah, my son moved out, and my electric bill went down $80." So here's the thing: don't worry about it. If you're trying to budget, you want to put money away for college fund or a, entrepreneur fund. Who knows what they want to be. We'll put tens of thousands of dollars ways for their education, but if they want to start a plumbing business, we tell them to go raise the money themselves. Why don't we?
Yeah.
So put away a future fund for them. fine, budget for that.
Yeah.
I have no problem. More power to you. Please do. But don't try to figure out how much you're going to spend on food and clothes and whatnot. Determine a philosophy and follow that philosophy.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Should we leave our 16-year-old male on their own we're going on a 10-day vacation? Now, apparently he's real responsible. I don't care how old your 16-year-old is. You know, they are not ready to take on the world, a household by themselves at 16 for 10 days.
I don't know.
Well, why can't you have a nephew or, uncle or somebody come?
Okay, here's a couple of things. A, does he have a job?
No.
So he just going to be hanging. Does he have a bunch of friends?
Yeah.
Or does he have like one or two friends all online?
No. He
Okay, if he's got a robust friend group, then he's going to end up having a party whether he wants to or not. So
because they're all just going to show up.
They're just going to show up, right? And it's just is the word's going to get out and he's going to show up. He doesn't even have to intend it, and it's a coin flip better chance that he's going to intend it. So, but other than that, he would likely be relatively responsible with the house. They are actually probably true. So it kind of depends. Do you want to be the ones to turn the blind eye to their son having a party where they're going? And what kind of party is your son likely to have? That's the kind of, is it just going to be his nerdy friends coming over and
playing video games and ordering a pizza?
Ordering pizza, staying up too late, watching movies they probably shouldn't be watching, but they're 16, so of course they are. That's probably what's going to his version of a party, but 25, 30 years ago, when we were 16, it happened all the time. This wasn't even a question. You left your 16.
That was
quite a long time ago.
40 years ago.
Yeah, that was quite a long time ago.
It was a different world.
But it wasn't that different. Today's world, in almost every measurable thing, is a far safer world. It should be actually easier for us to leave our children because we can check in on them on cameras. We've got door cams and cameras all over the house, and 24-hour alarm services and all kinds of goofy things. But yet we flip out more now than ever. And we just come back before the lights come on, before the street lights come on. And half the time we didn't even do that. We got home way after the lights came on. We didn't notice. The moon was out. We didn't care. No one cared. No, it's not that they cared. It's that we were trusted to mature and grow, and that's how we did that. So this is one of those things called a parent's call. And now, when it happened, we also had the neighbor to check in on us.
Yeah.
And the other neighbor
watching you
to check in on us. And the neighbor across the street to check in on us. And grandpa came over every other day to work in the garden, right? And there was a network of people that were paying attention. So if there's a difference today, it's that we don't know or particularly like our neighbors anymore.
I love Saoirse.
The one neighbor, yeah. The one neighbor. Sure. Okay.
I have issues with the other ones.
I have issues with all of them.
But I'm still a good neighbor.
Uh-huh. I'm not. Okay. You missed one, by the way.
I did?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Okay. This is the last one.
No, you missed one.
I'm reading it right now.
Okay.
Getting hand-me-downs from sister-in-law, brother-in-law. How do I word this? Okay, they are just too worn, stained, frayed.
You thank them and throw them away.
Pass them on to a thrift store.
No, if they're too stained or too worn, you throw them away. Use them as rags.
But you can't. Okay.
No, if they're too stained for you, they're gonna be too worn for somebody else. Just throw them away. They've reached the if article of clothing has reached its end of life, and you're not willing to wear it, why would somebody else be? It's not that you have more clothing and you don't need them, and so you're donating them. It's people are handing you their worn out clothing and trying to feel good about themselves. So let them feel good about themselves and throw it away where it belongs. No one wants a stained, worn out shirt.
I use it for play clothes. Sometimes I picked some of the best for play clothes.
And they make good rags if you're working in a garage. You can do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
okay. All right.
But yeah. Okay.
Okay. Now we're moving on. Did you want to do an intro?
No, you missed another one.
Oh, I did another one. Okay. This poor girl. Oh my gosh. Overwhelmed by a kindergartner's tantrums.
Yes.
This is the nanny.
Okay.
She's never experienced anything like this before.
Well, okay. Somebody is rewarding those kindergartners' tantrums, and somebody has to stop, whether it's the nanny or the parent. And sometimes as a nanny, you have to teach the parent how to raise the child.
Yeah.
And they cannot, the parents have to stop rewarding tantrums. Yeah. That's the only way tantrums stop. Literally. That's it. All you have to do is, walk over them in the grocery store and keep on walking. And guess what? They stop throwing tantrums in the grocery store. Hey, where'd they go? Left your sorry ass. What do you think we did?
I've seen a picture. It's been on Facebook more than once. There's this child having a tantrum on the floor. And then there's these two men, obviously the dad and the grandpa with the gray beard, standing there just talking. Waiting for her to be done.
Yeah.
Patiently.
Because they know that this is the only way to really stop that behavior is to not reward it at all. You don't need to punish it. You just need to not reward it. That's it. And it actually works out that way because then they're not being punished for it, but the punishment is not being rewarded, and then they got to feel embarrassed that they didn't even get what they want out of it. And so with the whole
my nephew one time, he was witnessing a child meltdown, and he's like, "Oh, that just looks terrible." And she goes, "I know you do look terrible when you do that too. You look like that." Oh.
Yeah. I mean, on occasion, you may have to just grab them and carry them out while they're.
Yeah.
But
sometimes I have left more than one grocery cart full of food. Sorry, gotta go.
Yeah, you grab one and you just grab them in your arm and you go. All right, come on. We're going. We're going to go wait in the car while the rest of your siblings go get candy bars. Guess what you ain't getting? Because you're not going to be there. Oh, yeah, and I'm not either. So now I'm mad. So I'm not going to. And I'm paying for all this, and I'm not going to get the candy bar. All right. Love has a way of testing us. And sure, doesn't it anyway? So these exits and intros are all butchered. Anyway, for me and Lovey, we're out of here tonight. This is a chaotic show tonight. So have a good night, and please remember to love everybody.
Good night.
Oh man. All right. Yeah, that's useless. That is completely useless. All right, we ready?
Yeah.
All right, welcome back to Late Night Love, where we examine the strange and the unusual and the caring and the compassionate of everyday life. So we talk about the things that move us, the things that make us feel, and the things that make us crazy.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, and we have our relationship segments, and you talk about things that make you crazy. It is relationships. So let's unpack with a little bit of warmth, a tiny bit of wisdom, and a lot of late night love. But before we do that, you can find us at latenighlove.us, which is something I didn't do last segment. I am all out of whack today. You can send your questions, suggestions, comments. God, I even messed that up. Comments, suggestions, whatever the heck I'm trying to say tonight. To love at latenighlove.us. And for some reason, if you're enjoying the show, you go ahead and hit the like, subscribe, and do all that fun stuff. Because, yeah, it's a little chaotic around here tonight. But we will get through it because that's what we do around here. Okay, let's just get in so we can get us over with. Oh, man, it's been a long day. All right.
This is my favorite section.
Okay.
Oh, but not this one. Okay, this is her first breakup.
Okay.
She's ready to break up with her boyfriend, but when and how? There's no perfect time, hun.
No, now
You just gotta pull the trigger.
yeah, I mean, you don't. There's a handful of things, right? If his mother just died, you don't do it. If his dog just died, you don't do it. But kind of short of that, you know, because you don't want to get stuck waiting for this proper time, or well, it's just not the right time. It's never the right time. I mean, there are a handful of things that make it the wrong time, but it's never the right time. So you just have to do it as soon as you can manage to pull yourself together to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're 21 and 22. It's just part of life. Sadly.
It's going to happen again.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all right. Here's the thing. Don't blame them. Make it about you and, move on.
Yeah.
So, and be clear for the love of, just be clear that it's over. Don't leave.
Yeah. Don't leave an opening. Maybes.
No maybes. No, yeah, can still be friends. No, you can't. Just make it a nice clear cut. So it's best for both of you, really. Okay.
I just found out my wife went home with another man from the bar Saturday. We have 2 kids. She doesn't know I know. Is there any way we can come back from it?
Well, is it possible? Sure, it's possible.
Yeah.
Is it likely? No. I guess the question is, how do you deal with it?
Yeah.
Right? You've got a choice to make. I mean, are you going to try to save your family? Understanding that you're not actually the one who gets to make the choice. Realistically, she's the one who has to make the choice to change.
Yeah.
And to work on herself and to figure out what it is.
For heaven's sake, get some counseling.
Maybe she's an alcoholic and alcohol, and you can find some compassion in that. Right?
Yeah.
Not an excuse, but you can find some compassion.
Yeah.
But at least there was a path to recovery.
Yeah.
There's, it's a little different than if it was just. Here's the thing: the human in me knows that a mother with 2 kids, 2 and 3, is probably feeling alone and isolated. She goes out to a bar for a night out. Someone treats her kindly. She's got too many drinks in her, and she makes a choice that she otherwise wouldn't make.
Yeah.
I can get the humanity of that, right? I can get the human frailty in that. I can feel some empathy towards that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, shoes on the other foot. How much empathy do we have?
I know.
How much empathy do any of us have?
I know.
And so What does that say about us as individuals in a society? It's not just us as individuals.
Yeah.
It's a society-wide thing, and it shouldn't be. We either have compassion or we don't. So my guess is going to have to figure out why. Is she dealing with depression? Is she an alcoholic? And then if she deals with whatever it is was driving this decision, loneliness, you may have some role to play in it. Maybe you haven't been given your attention she needs. And maybe it's reasonable. Maybe you're working 12 hours a day. Who knows? These things aren't necessarily anybody's, well, the path to these things isn't necessarily anybody's fault. Everybody can be doing the best they can, since people can still feel lonely and vulnerable. So I just don't like seeing families broken up, especially at 2 and 3.
I know.
But so it's going to have to depend on what and why. And the question is, how does he deal with it?
I suggest counseling. Seriously.
Yeah, but counseling for what? I mean, before you go to counseling, you have to know what you're going to counseling for. And he's going to have to decide what he's going to counseling for. Is
help. I can't do this alone.
Yeah, but that's dangerous, because you're going to get a counselor and you're going to end up being counseled to whatever your counselor's instinct is, not necessarily what's best for you.
Okay.
Honestly, if you're a religious person, this is where your priest comes in handy.
Yeah.
Because you're actually, he teaches, what a priest would do is teach you to talk to God about it. A priest with their salt would tell you to figure out a way to try to save your family. But if you can't, God would always be there, right? That is the message ultimately. So I don't know. There's also the thing, you did make a vow through thick and thin, through sickness and in health, and if this was some form of sickness, either deep depression or alcoholism, you kind of have an obligation to at least try to walk through it. You may not be able to, but you should.
You're gonna try.
You're gonna try, give it the old college try.
Yeah.
I suppose you've already decided that because you wrote the question. If you hadn't decided that, the question was how do I find a lawyer? How do I
know. He's already decided he wants to try and work this out for his family.
Yeah. Well, and this is where men need someone to protect them from themselves. Because men will often sacrifice themselves for their families. Sacrifice themselves in a way they shouldn't. And this could be one of those cases.
Okay.
So you may need to, she may be a wench, for all we know, and everybody's going to talk to him because, well, she just gave you the biggest out in the planet, dude. Take it. We don't know, right? Or she could just be lonely because he hasn't given her the attention she needs, and she reacted poorly to that, rather than, postpartum depression, ages 2. It's you wrap that in there. It becomes easy to become forgiving. Men are actually quite forgiving because we are fallible human beings. So so anyway, I thought that there was an answer there, but there was an answer somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It feels like my girlfriend likes her celebrity crush more than me.
Well, at 18 and 19, she probably does.
Because he's perfect.
Yeah.
And you're in your flesh and blood.
He doesn't have to be human.
Yeah.
He gets to be whatever she wants him to be. Don't fight ghosts is my suggestion.
Yeah, don't fight it, dude.
Just don't worry. But what's the chances, right?
Take her to the concert, be supportive, and just shine it on.
Yeah. As long as she ain't throwing her underwear at the stage when you're there.
You're all right.
Yeah. And if she does it when you're not there, who cares? Because it's like there's no chance of her bringing the celebrity crush home. It's like not gonna happen. There's 0.0 0.0% chance, right?
Mhm.
So don't worry about it. Let her have her fun.
Yeah.
And then when you want to have yours, you have the. I let you have your celebrity crush thing. So.
Well, that goes back to that thing. I read about this, and there was a deal there for a while. It was a big deal that couples, you're allowed to have three celebrity crushes
Mhm.
that you could, hook up with and not have to pay a consequence.
Uh-huh. Yeah. As if you think that's going to happen.
It could totally happen. Tom Cruise come along, Sam Elliott,
Sure. Could.
totally happen.
And the predator could just come bouncing through the door right now.
Stop it.
Just sure. Yeah, and no consequences. Right. Sure. Like life works that way. This next question is going to let us find out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we go off into our adult questions. Okay. Friends with benefits feels weird. Just ended a long-term relationship.
Yeah. But the long-term friends with benefit relationship, or she
No, ended a 4-year relationship.
and so now she's
Now she's in. She knows she's not ready for another relationship, so she's doing friends with benefits.
well, if it feels weird, don't do it.
Yeah.
That's your body that's you telling yourself that you don't actually like this. You're just lonely, and any old warm body will do. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Yeah. So it's yourself telling you that you don't like that. So don't do that. It's okay. You don't have you don't have to seek pleasure from others all the time. It's okay to spend time with yourself one way or not, right? Just read a good book, I guess. I don't know. But the fact that she thinks it feels weird is telling her to stop. So
I agree.
yeah.
It's you've passed the period where you can do that in your life,
Yeah. For whatever
Yeah.
reason.
For whatever reason. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
You're not made for that.
Sorry.
Is probably the
Yeah.
actual answer. You're not made for multiple partners. You want
And
one
I
at a
figured
time.
that out myself too when I was dating. And every once in a while I'd try, no, dating is just too hard, and then I go back in my cave and then and I'm like, I'm lonely. But I don't want a relationship. I'll just do a one-off,
Yeah.
and then that would of course fall to shit, It never turned out well.
Yeah. Human loneliness will make people do things.
I
right,
know.
that they wouldn't otherwise do.
I
So,
know. And men have sailed continents, you know,
yeah.
sailed oceans. It's not continents, sailed oceans.
Sailed continents.
Sailed
Cross continents.
Cross continents and sailed oceans, just to find the one. Eh.
They still do. They'll fly halfway around the world to find one who wants to see them naked. I'm just like, you couldn't find one on the other side of the planet. There's 300 million. You had to go all the way to the other side. But sure.
I never understood that.
Hey man, whatever works or not, I guess. Okay, what's next?
Okay, here, married 2 months,
Mhm.
intimate, but no penetration. Is that normal? Now, this was an arranged marriage. They
Mhm.
had a 6-month courtship.
Mhm.
They've been married 2 months. Honey, this is an old world man. This is how they operate. Ask him. Tell him that's what you want. Ask him if he'll do that with you.
Or
You give him permission. He's waiting for you, I think.
well, One, it's an arranged marriage, right? Which makes all this weird. And I know nothing about arranged marriage, normal normalities, right? So, but if we break this down to, you know, let's say these people are relatively modern human, despite the arranged marriage, right? He clearly doesn't want to impose himself on you. So, for the first time, you are going to have to take the lead.
Yeah.
This is a problem that you are capable of solving if you wish to. So, solve it.
Take the lead. Or, if you can't, I say ask him, talk, But that's a female, approach to it. But I understand the male would just be pushing back and crawl on top of them, just do it.
Yeah, you guys are laying in bed at night, just that is the one place, even in cultures that are repressed, where women can actually take leads. No one talks about it because it's taboo, but that's the point. That's what makes it exciting for both of them. It's where she gets to express herself and he gets to not have to carry the weight of the world, right?
Yeah.
So, but it sounds to me like it's just, he doesn't want to impose himself on her, so she's going to have to take the lead. And then once the beam is broken, so to speak, it will flow naturally.
Sounds like he's just not sure that her interest is at that level yet. He's he's just feeling a little insecure. Or help him out. Support him.
Yeah, and he may still not be comfortable with the whole arranged marriage thing as well either, right? He still may feel weird to him. He may be more modern than she is.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible, right?
Yeah.
She may be more okay with this than he is. We all think that, the women are going to be the ones who are against the arranged marriages. But from the men's perspective, you could get arranged to an ogre, right? Or to someone who's a shrew. Or you could get arranged to someone who's an angel. You don't know. It's a risk for them too.
Mm-hmm.
And they may like the girl down the street. Next thing you know, you're married someone from the next town over. I don't know. So he may not be all that happy about it either. So they at least have something in common. It's one of those things. I'd just break the ice myself, right? If I was her, she'd just take the lead one way or the other. And if it's physical, do it physical. If you're gonna do it through discussion, then just break the ice and say, hey, it's time.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's time. Sounds to me like she's more comfortable with arranged marriage than he is.
Yeah.
It's kind of an instinct.
Yeah. Sounds like it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Now, here's a shoe on the other foot.
Okay.
Female. I'm not sure how to handle the sex going down in relationship with my boyfriend. That's different.
Yeah, you do the exact same thing that we would tell the other shoe on the other foot. You deal with it.
Yeah. Take care of yourself. Take care of the relationship. See what's going on in the relationship. Pay some attention to him. Spend time doing some things he likes doing.
Well, and these things kind of ebb and flow. He may not be feeling well. Maybe he's got his back is sore.
And you're 31. I'm sorry, but your 20s are over. And that frantic make like a bunny,
No, well,
it comes and goes.
Well, remember, she's now hitting her sexual peak, and he is not, right?
He's coming down from his sexual peak. She's just ramping up.
Yeah, so this is going to be what it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean,
you had a glorious time for a couple years where you guys were relatively equal on the desire and ability scale, and now it's slipping the other way. For a time being.
Yeah,
it ebbs and flows. It changes again.
Nature is cruel.
Nature is cruel. So, but maybe he's I would say maybe he's stressed, maybe he's tired, maybe he's got a sore knee, sore back. Who knows?
Yeah.
He's 30. He's no longer young. You can twist something and your hip hurts, and the last thing you want to do is pelvic thrusts while your hip is hurting. So, and men, we're stupid. We're not going to mention it. So she don't know.
You think we don't notice
What?
when the sex slows down?
No, you don't. You don't notice that our hip hurts.
Well, no, but you could say something.
What, you want us to say something?
Yeah.
No, it's like, okay, we've got to remember, men have this battlefield warrior mentality. If you walk out onto the battlefield or a war and you've got a sign that shows you're injured someplace, that just becomes a target. And so you don't tell people you're injured. And
We're your partner, not the enemy.
I didn't say we were smart. I just said this is what we do. I didn't say it worked in the modern world. I just said it's what we do. You're confusing those two things. We're not saying this is intelligent. Just is. So
Y'all are killing me.
you just have to deal with it. I suppose there are some diet things you could probably look into and make sure you're not having anything in his diet that is dragging it down. Make sure he's getting sleep so he's not tired. There are some basics.
Mhm.
I mean, if you're really concerned, you could test his testosterone, and I think maybe low testosterone for a 31.
Yeah.
Not impossible, but my guess is they were just off desire for time, and women aren't used to being told no.
It happens to men. They're not machines,
Yeah. Just like you all ain't machines who can turn on and off.
I know.
Yeah. But women aren't used to being told no. So when it happens, it's a shock.
Well, it was a shock to me the first time it happened.
Just saying.
And I can't say I handled it quietly, but inside I was dying, but I did not lash out.
So it happens. We all have to cross it. Men just get used to it because we get turned down all the time. So
You're like, meh.
yeah.
Next one might do it.
Try again tomorrow.
You're ever hopeful.
Try again tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, here we got our last question.
Okay.
Okay. Never did self-pleasure fully. Now I'm scared I might never get an orgasm at all. Now she's 24.
Okay.
She's been sexually active with men, but never achieved satisfaction. So she's tried self-pleasure, and she gets to the point she starts feeling like she's losing control.
Yeah.
And that's weird. That scares her.
Oh, so she's her own problem.
Yeah.
She gets in her way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's going to have to learn to let go a little bit. Yes, when you reach that, there is a moment, however long, 10, 15 seconds. It's not actually all that long, ladies.
It's not.
Or men. Sadly. That's why the journey is more important than the destination.
Yes.
Because the destination doesn't last all that long.
It doesn't.
But you have to be willing to let go in order to have that.
Yeah. All control. You're just for a minute, you're going to lose control.
Yeah. That's kind of the point.
Yeah. It's very freeing.
So now, how do you get by it? How do you get past that? I don't know. Would that be something like, get past a fear of flying where you just, I don't know.
Maybe a sex therapist is in order.
Yeah. Well, but it may be not even, she just might need a therapist to figure out why she has this need to always be in control.
Ooh, yeah.
It might not even be necessarily sexual related. It's just she's got a serious fear of loss of control.
Uh-huh.
And so
I got news for you. Control is an illusion.
well, it's not a total. You don't get to control the world, but you can
No.
control how you react to it.
That's it.
That's all you
That's
get.
what you can control yourself.
That's all you get.
That's all.
You don't get nothing else.
No.
And I'm sorry if anybody told you different. What is it? Life is pain. And anybody who tells you difference is selling something.
Even Jesus said you're going to have troubles in your life. Come on.
Yeah.
That's just universal. I'm sure every culture across the world, all through time, has had the same thing. Life is hard.
You know why? Because life is hard. It's a truism because it's freaking true.
Yeah.
It's true today, it's true tomorrow, and it will be true throughout the end of time. Because no matter whatever pleasures and luxuries and whatnot we have, we will always have, interpersonal relationships, and those are difficult. So that's a wrap for tonight's journey through life's twists, love's turns, and relationships revolutions. Remember, in the quiet hours, it's okay to feel it all: the hurt, the hope, and the humanity. If these stories resonated, drop your thoughts below or submit your own to latenighlove.us. We are building this community one late night chat at a time. Sleep well, or at least thoughtfully. Till next time, take care of your heart. And please remember to love everybody.
Good night.